Hi, and welcome to another narration presented by yours truly, Cryptids Roost. Please be so kind as to throat punch the like button. Don't forget to smack the ass of that subscription button as well. This will help with YouTube's algorithm and will help promote our channel more. And if you would like to support the channel and help make us grow, my PayPal is paypal.me/cryptidsroost. And don't forget to check out the merch store. All links are listed below. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, everyone. So grab your coffee, sit back and enjoy the show. My job requires me to clean up roadkill and hunt cryptids. This fantastic new series is written by author Jojo, a wonderful author over on Reddit's NoSleep. While I'm not at liberty to say which state has done so, I can tell you that around a year ago I picked up a job removing those corpses you see at the side of the road. Some are spotted quickly and the cleanup is as easy as picking up the carcass and chucking it. Sometimes the roadkill is left for days or hit by several cars. These cases are a pain in the ass. A lot goes into making sure your kids don't break out crying on your 5-hour road trip when they see Bambi at the side of the road. The work is quiet, people don't bother you, and other than an intercom on my dashboard telling me where to go, I have little reason to talk to anyone. I just traverse the highways in my truck that looks eerily similar to what horror movies would have you expect someone in my profession to be driving. In life, you go through changes. Not all of them are welcome, but they're going to happen whether you're ready or not. Just got to roll with those punches. That's what I'm doing. Scraping remains off 4 lanes isn't enough to pay the bills though, and it was around the time I was close to losing my home that a particular phone call gave me an interesting change. I can't remember the date, but 3 months ago I was approached with an offer that at first was nothing but humorous. It told me the line of work I was already in would seamlessly integrate into the work they had lined up for me. They were right. I was used to a long ride, solitude, and most importantly, I knew how to dispose of an animal. With cautious hesitation, I agreed, and not a day passed before I received my first call. The encounter nearly made me quit on the spot until I saw the pay. I could afford a nice shiny pickup truck, but I can't imagine the use of owning something like that and spraying the thing down every night. Besides, old Elvis had been keeping me company ever since I pulled my first animal remains off the black tar. Even more so, ever since my first night with that thing, I wised up and began to teach Elvis some new tricks. The truck ain't pretty on the outside, but it could outrace 80% of the cars I'd seen passing me by. There's no need for me to elaborate much on my time back then. I don't think either of my employers would be too keen on recounting all that, nor would they like what I'm doing now, but for the sake of compilation. I'm writing my jobs down from now on. You see, from 9 to 5 I do nothing but wait until some poor animal's day is up until time or nature kills it. Once that shift ends though, I sit by my radio and wait. Sometimes minutes, sometimes hours, until I hear faint static kick in and give me the location, situation and the cryptid I'd be hunting that evening. You've no doubt heard stories of some of these cryptids you can come across, and some are even famous. For every cryptid you've heard of, there's 10 more waiting in the bushes. Those are the ones that I'm called to take care of. Not all of them are out to harm humans, and some can exist peacefully with the surrounding ecosystems. But when one goes rogue or harms their biome, that's when I'm called in. Tonight I was called to take care of a swift bastard called the Mile Wolf. They all have cute nicknames like that. The Mile Wolf was once thought to be in a rare category of cryptids that were singular in nature, meaning it was only one of its kind. It wasn't until 2 attacks were sighted 10 miles apart in the time frame of 5 minutes. These things are fast, but not that fast, thank God. They're agile and cunning, so when one is spotted, it becomes a priority. They attack humans for food and seemingly for sport, and also feed on any species of wolf that happens to inhabit the area. The attacks resemble that of a pack of wolves, with how vicious the claw and bite marks can be. So after receiving the call, I made my way to the cold storage where I kept any clean roadkill and pulled a deer from the freezer. Heavy bastard. I located the sighting on a map, some backwards car path that was primarily used by lost foreigners. It had one way in and out, making it a perfect road to plot a trap on, so that's what I did. Then after gathering the necessary supplies, I chucked everything into the truck bed and took off. By the time I finally hit the road, the sun had long since left the sky, and it was approaching midnight. This is typically the best time for hunts. The fewer people the better, but if you wait too long, you risk the thing hauling up for the night. Mile wolves are very adept at making themselves invisible, and can even trick passing observers into thinking they just witnessed a normal wolf. The mile wolf gets its name from its body structure. If you were looking at it head on, all you would see is a very tall wolf. Its legs are thin and stretched, giving it a malnourished appearance. Their height could dwarf the extinct dire wolves. I've heard of mile wolves that have reached up to 6 feet in height. I'm thankful I've never seen one of those. The community is still split on whether or not mile wolves have a hierarchy, like regular packs do. If they do though, that 6-footer was no doubt the alpha. Their tall stature isn't their main feature. No, it gets weirder. The mile wolf will rarely be seen from the side, but if you were to catch a glimpse, you would see a long, cylindrical-like stomach and chest. They've been compared to snakes and worms, but I see a stronger resemblance to ferrets. They can reach over 10 feet in length, and you can tell they're hungry if the middle of their tube-like body is sagging. If that's something you manage to see, it's already too late for you. As I've said before, these suckers are fast. It doesn't matter if they're running away or towards you, they are faster. Their bodies allow them to slink through the forest as if they're made of water. If you wanted to kill one, you'd have to do so swiftly, but even that wouldn't be easy. For whatever reason, all these cryptids have accelerated healing, and the mile wolf is among the worst of them. Like the worms they resemble, a limb or even half its body will begin to regrow after being severed. There is one thing that can halt the healing completely, and it's far too cliché for my taste, but it gets the job done. Going over the plan in my head, I pulled up to my destination, about halfway through the secluded trail, and turned the truck off. I withdrew several small speakers from the back of the truck and placed them at random positions on the road. On the side of the road, I placed a uniform row of rusty iron and covered them with leaves. Mile wolves will not make a sound as they approach you. If you are hunting one, you must act fast and quiet, or the tables will turn before you even realised you're drawing your last breath. Their teeth are some of the sharpest I've ever seen. They would slice through a tree faster than a chainsaw if one had the mind to do so. Reaching into my truck, I pulled the double-barrel shotgun I bought my first day on this job. It and Elvis got together well. Then my hands found the revolver and dropped a single but very expensive bullet into the chamber. I placed them on the road, laying them gently next to a ghillie suit. Then the final piece was dragged from the truck bed. Several space heaters were focused on the deer. The stench it gave off was horrendous, but it was powerful, and I didn't have time to pay it mind. I placed it on in the road, a safe distance from the speakers, iron, and my own supplies. I stuck the deer's stomach and pulled, the fine skin giving away easily. I felt a flow of red run past my hands. Quickly I rushed to the open door of my truck and took one heavy last breath just to center myself. My hand pressed hard on the car's steering wheel, and the horn cried loud into the vast silence of the night, bouncing through the trees. Slamming the door, I swiftly made way to the ghillie suit and threw myself under it. I laid on the road, watching the deer's body, moonlight as my only source of light. I could see it reflecting off the pool now surrounding the deer. Mile wolves are cautious. I had no doubt that it was sizing up the deer. I had no doubt it wanted the easy prey. Before I knew it, a shadow lunged onto the lifeless deer. Ugly sounds of gnawing like ripping sheets of paper could be heard coming from the mass of meat. My fingers wrapped around the grip of my shotgun. There was going to be no opening. I was just going to have to go for it and hope everything worked out. You have to take leaps of faith like that a lot in my line of work. Going over the plan one more time in my head, I readied and calmed myself. It was time. Like a maniac, I sprung from under the ghillie suit and readied my shotgun. Before I even raised the barrel, it was already aware of me. Its long, slender body began contorting to face me. I didn't have the time, so without a clear shot, I pulled the trigger. The recoil jarred me for a minute, but I could see I did some damage to its legs. The mile wolf swung away from me after being shot. It was attempting to flee. It made it several feet, and a large hum emitting from the speakers, frightening the wild wolf. As it picked a new direction, and another speaker went off. It made a frantic sprint towards my truck. My finger clicked a small rubber button on my keys, and the lights of the truck shone bright, piercing the dark. The road lit up. I could see the mile wolf's albino white hair that was standing on end like it was a pissed off cat. Along with the lights, the radio and the speakers mounted atop good old Elvis chimed a wonderful tune of harsh static. The mile wolf retched and ran towards the side of the road. The biggest part of this job is having foresight. You are hunting the things that go bump in the night. Most of them are still animals though, and their actions can be predicted. As I watched the mile wolf clamber to the side of the road, and as I heard the harsh clamping of the row of bear traps, I knew I was chalking up another successful hunt. The thing's frantic movements had been its undoing. If just one or two of its legs had been caught, it could have gnawed them off and I'd have no chance of catching up. But it had slipped and the traps closed on its stomach and near just below its neck. As I walked over, I pulled out the revolver. If left be, this thing would recover and be angrier than ever. It looked up at me and flashed bright green eyes, giving off several cries for mercy. But the mile wolf is crafty. If you show it mercy, it will not return the favour. I had more than enough time. I aimed up the perfect shot, and with the pull of the trigger, the hammer brought down and ejected the bullet. A gleaming oval of silver flew from the barrel and straight into the mile wolf's head. The only way to really kill one of these is to stop the regeneration completely. Silver is the cheapest compound known to do such a thing. Still, ain't cheap. The rest is no different from my morning job, just a little more intimate. I removed the traps and threw the corpse into the back of my truck, covering it with a ghillie suit. And after packing all my supplies, I hopped in and began the long drive home. I am tired, but I am alive, and there is a very long wolf hanging in cold storage. I keep the cryptid bodies around for a while before burying them, because just like the roadkill, they have their purpose to serve. Wow, that was a fantastic story. And if you enjoyed listening to this chronicle, be sure to pop over to the author's Reddit profile, author Jojo, and drop them a line, or even give them a glowing review. The link to their Reddit profile will be below in the description. And if you enjoyed my narration, then please feel free to like and share the video, leave a comment below, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button and tap the notification bell and then select all. That way you'll receive all notifications each time I upload a new video. Now, even though I'm not yet monetized by YouTube, I have created some awesome merch for you guys. So please be so kind as to visit our merchandise store and grab yourself a t-shirt, face mask, mug, hoodie, or whatever else grabs your fancy. There's plenty there to choose from. The link will be in the description. And if you'd like an honourable mention, send in a snapshot of yourself with your purchase from the merch store and I'll feature it in one of my videos. Have you written a CreepyPasta story you would like me to narrate? Have you had any cryptid sightings, paranormal or supernatural encounters? If so, you can submit your stories and encounters to cryptidsroost@gmail.com. And if you wish to remain anonymous, that's fine with me. Now, I've also got a Facebook group, Twitter, Reddit, and you'll also find me on Discord. And if you'd like to support this channel and help make it grow, my PayPal is paypal.me/cryptidsroost. Again, that'll also be below. Oh, and Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And don't forget, where fear is, happiness is not.